Hi, I'm Tammy, the evangelist's wife, or an evangelist's wife. I am dealing with my last rescue of the season. It is a it is a dogwood, and it's going to flower in the spring, big white flowers in the spring, and then in the fall, the leaves are gonna turn red. We got it for a little bit of money, $10 at Walmart, and I'm just replanting it, and it is overgrown, meaning the roots seem to be overgrown, and it's very dry right now, and, and a lot of root rot. That's a lot of root rot and overbound. I've got a bucket of ground. It's ground amender. It is the soil mix and potting soil all mixed together. And right now I'm going to do a trick I learned off a video and just rub the roots to where it just kind of loosens up. And I have my bucket of tools that will help me. It looks like it's really rotted up to about here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's rotted up to there. But yeah, the in the spring it's supposed to bring out nope, I don't want my soil to get, so I had 2 buckets. In the spring it will bring out flowers and bring in pollinators for the which is what we're trying to get our garden going for, a lot of pollinators. um what it seems like we have a lot of carpenter bees, regular bees. We used to have a lot of what are they called? Hummingbirds. And but we're getting more of the hummingbird stuff back. And we're looking at a lot of perennials for the I need to cut that. We're trying to do more perennials than annuals. His the evangel Dan's event or not husband, Dan's grandfather used to have a lot of annuals that got hummingbirds, and he was a very annual guy. And I'm more of a perennial. I'd rather invest in stuff that will come back every year, or or it will be or it'll be around all year long. It's just something that I've always enjoyed more of, being able to enjoy a whole plant. I like the evergreen stuff. Um, and it's very for me it's more rewarding, because then I can fiddle with it all year long instead of just for one season. And it's not, for me it's not necessarily work, it's just more of like communing with God, so to speak, because um I enjoy a lot of God's work, and when it comes to the when it comes to flowers and birds, and it's just the ability, seeing the with a little bit of nurture, how something like this with a little bit of nurturing, um, how something like this will turn into a big, beautiful bush or tree, or however I decide I'm gonna do it up as. And it looks like it'll be more bush than tree to me when I'm looking at the trunk here. Ugh, it is so dry, but so over rooted. I don't know why I would thought it was going to be a lot easier coming from Walmart, because it is coming from Walmart rather than um rather than our local our local garden center. Let me look at that root. It's white. Okay. I was looking to see if it had some green in it, but it doesn't. Looks like I'm gonna have to go higher. Ugh. Root rot is real. I know, I know. I'm probably gonna get a lot of yells for just ripping it off, but I am gonna be cutting it back because a lot of this really does look bad. If I'll show you in a second. It's just so compacted. Trying to see where it starts going, where the root starts going a little green. There's a little green right here. So I think I'll go to there. There's a root that's showing green here. I know, and um the way I've been taught, or yeah, the way I've been taught, I can take 30% of the roots and 30, but what I do to the roots, I have to do to the top. And I'll do the top on I'll do the top later off camera. And then because I haven't decided how I want to do the top yet, where I want to, how far back I want to go, if I want to go. I do have to say it has a lot of roots in it. I'm actually really surprised at how well rooted it is. Well, because sometimes or a lot of times I've noticed that when it's root bound like it was, it's mostly on the outside, not in the center. And it's really the center roots that give it its oomph. Okay, I think I will end there because I was going to go a little bit higher, but the inner roots are actually looking better than outside, the outer roots. I'll just cut off the stuff on the outside, make it more of a dome. And then I'm transplanting it into a 5-gallon bucket for the time being, just to just to try to nurse it back to health. And then and then we'll we'll go find a a bigger container for it. There's a few towns over, or about 4 towns over, there's a place that does that sells a bunch of gardening containers, all ceramic and terracotta type, all different sizes and shapes and forms. Um, and we'll get one just for this plant, and then there's a couple of other plants that, and it's actually cheaper to go there to get mass pots. I've got a lot of things in temporary pots, or pots that is really small, too small for the plants. But I really wanted to do. It's for me. It's easier to water more than less, because to it's less chance of like root rot, and it's less chance of getting root rot and any other diseases that comes uh with a pot being too, with a pot being too big for the plant when you're transplanting it. um if it's too big, the water stays in longer, but you have more of a chance of diseases and root rot and all the bad stuff that can possibly that can happen to it. Okay, I'm gonna use this to pick at it a little bit more, and then I will put it into. I'll show the process of the other stuff that I use for it, or I use to transplant. And if you guys have any other suggestions on if you guys have any other suggestions on how to better the transplant process, and I'd really appreciate that. And yes, I know I'm probably going to get yelled at for what I'm doing, but I don't have a proper I don't have a tooth I don't have a metal, not toothpick, but what are they called? Chopstick anymore. I lost that in the process of moving and gardening. I had used it a lot at the other place that we lived at, and then lost it somewhere here. I'm just trying to get it to where the roots are not going around in circles. God, this is so dry. And then I'm gonna cut some of this back. See, cut into that a little bit. Wow, they're even coming all the way up here. Sometimes It sometimes they sometimes nurseries like to fill up to cover the root system, and it looks like the roots it was so root bound that the roots grew up too. I really wanted to see the trunk up here. That's what I'm trying to do is get get some more trunk up here, but I don't have the right tools to do it because I wanted to get down a little bit further into the trunk. Where's my stick? I'm gonna actually cut into this. See if I can cut under. Do I have? Grab my shovel. See if I can get my shovel. Scrape off a bit more. Normally, I have a table that I put stuff on, but it or put the as I'm working on it, I have a little table that but I didn't have room for the dirt bucket and for that and the dirt discard bucket and all of that. Trying I'm trying just to get the stuff right around the out from like under this branch right here because I like to have more of a topiary or bonsai type aerated feel to it, and this is just I like to be able to see the trunk more. I want to well, I'm gonna work more on this for a little bit longer, but for the sake of the video, I'll work on this a little bit more off the camera. But um, when I go to put when it's ready, I'll put some bone meal into the soil around around the bottom towards, and then I'll put a little bit more on top. Once I backfill, I'll put a little more on top, and then I also, and that's for regrowing the roots. And then I also do a fish emulsion, which will help with the leaves and flowers. Well, the the bone meal will help with the leaves and roots, and this fish emulsion, which I dilute down in water. I do a gallon at a time, and depending on the size of the plant and how bad off it is, depends on whether I do the whole gallon or I split the gallon up into other plants as well. This one I'm probably going to do a whole gallon. Well, thank you for joining me, and let me know if you guys want more of this. Have a good have a good day, evening.